Thank you very much, Larry Newber. We are here in the picturesque mountains of Virginia at Martinsville Speedway here in Martinsville, Virginia. It is a great afternoon for racing the Raven Boats 150. Somewhat overcast, yet somewhat hot and muggy with rain showers in the area. But I feel we'll get this one in. We're on a half-mile racetrack. In fact, 0.526 miles to be exact, 2 long straightaways and 2 tight turns. Should be a great day for open wheel competition, and let's go to the race. Jeff Fuller, at 33 years of age, the Auburn, Massachusetts driver, will lead him down the Superior Process Chevrolet out of turns 3 and 4. Waiting for that green flag. Field now, 30 cars strong, 15 rows, 2 by 2. They come for the green.
Fuller gets a tremendous jump off the start and leads him down into turn 1. I'll tell you, he's ready to go today.
The thundering herd rumbles by in lap number 1 here at Martinsville Speedway. And there is Satch Worley, the car number 07, starting back in the pack. Now, he did not get a single lap of practice in this car. This is the car he used to drive a couple of years ago prior to moving in with Bob Garbarino and running the full tour. This car is maintained by Wayne Speedy Thomas, just about 10 minutes from the racetrack in Fieldale, Virginia. The car was scheduled to be driven by Jimmy Spencer. And Satch now taking his time to try to get the feel of the car and begin to make his move in on the car number 5 in front of him. That is the Bobby Hutchins car, one of the Southern Modified drivers. Satch has put on one whale of a show thus far in the tour races. He's had some excellent runs. He finished 7th here in the opener, finished 6th in Thompson, Connecticut, 12th at Richmond, and 8th last week at Stafford Springs.
Looks like Satch is going to work that outside groove to the front. He's made a couple strong moves on the outside. Looking real good here in the early going.
A lot of these cars showing the red colors. Now the car number 8, that is Jeff Fuller. 15 is Stefanik. The car number 36, that is Mike Iwanitsko, started outside the front row and has now been passed by the defending series champion Stefanik. Back in the car number 21 in 4th spot, that is the veteran George Kent out of Horseheads, New York, in the yard-bearing Southern New England Eggs Chevrolet.
I think everybody was wondering what kind of a pace Jeff Fuller was willing to set. It looks like Jeffrey's just willing to set out there and lead, not run away, but just set out there far enough so that nobody can challenge him. I think he's running a smart race.
Here's the battle for 7th spot, the car number 12, Mike McLaughlin, the 1988 Tour champion, being challenged by Doug Hevron, driving the car number 3. That's the Lenny Bowler fielded car for Hevron. That's the blue and yellow numeral car number 3. Hevron has run pretty well for Lenny Bowler this year. He qualified that car in 5th spot. And right now he's in the 8th position as McLaughlin now making his way toward the front.
Well, you know, Mike has slipped back a little bit from Reggie Ruggiero, and Doug Hevron trying to just pick a spot where he might get by him. It looks like McLaughlin's car is a little bit too tight up off the corner, doesn't want to cut real well for him, and he's sliding up just a small amount. And Hevron looking to the bottom side, a real good battle there.
George Kent now trying to make a move inside Iwanitsko. Kent is there, Tommy Bowles is there. Iwanitsko seems to be having a little problem. His car not handling, and he's holding Kent and some of those guys up.
He's definitely holding that line of traffic up. So, as you see George Kent, Tommy Bowles spins going into 3. All kinds of contact over there. Jay Hedgecock up on the wall and up on top of Ricky Fuller.
Jay Hedgecock's car has collided that's the car number 41, with the Rick Fuller machine. Rick Fuller in the car number 77. Carl Pastriak in the car number 75 was being shown in the top 10. His car still sitting there. And there's Harold Kinder pointing and waving the caution flag feverishly. Heavy contact in turn 3. And a couple of cars trying to make a move, and the bumpers came together, and the guys jumping the brakes, and these tires, as fast as they're going into turn 3, there's no way to get those things stopped.
No, not at all, Jerry. And as we see the replay here, Mike Iwanitsko was holding the line of traffic up. He braked a little early. George Kent run in the back of him, and then Tommy Bowles and Reggie Ruggiero come together, and it spun Bowles to the inside, and that's where all the trouble starts. Once you turn a car sideways, it starts blocking the racetrack, and then the rest of the guys just kind of piled in there in the back, had nowhere to go.
While we're under yellow here in Martinsville, let's take a break for these messages. Back back in Martinsville Speedway. Some of the Winston Cup veterans are watching the modified action, hair raising, and you saw a moment ago car racing action here on the half mile in Martinsville, Virginia. Back to green flag racing. They're mixing it up back in the pack as Jeff Fuller leads the charge out in turn one. Reggie Ruggiero trying to make a move, getting on the inside there. That's the yellow car with the black number 44 on the side. Reggie Ruggiero having won here back last month in the opener for the modified Tour division, a 200 lapper, now being shown in the 5th spot.
Reggie made a good move under Tommy Bowles on the restart, but had the door shut on him getting into the first turn and had to check up on the brakes, and Mike McLaughlin nearly got by on the outside. There's Jamie Tomato on the move after that pit stop and being involved in the wreck. He's working his way back up to the field, trying to get caught up to the leader.
Jamie Tomato, the current point leader in this NASCAR Winston Modified Tour division, back up front now. Fuller, right where he started, on the point, being chased by Stefanik. Car number 21 is George Kent, and a good run for Tommy Bowles.
Bowles feeling awful racing, gave George Kent a little tap on the back bumper just to say, hey, I'm here, I'm ready to take the spot if you make a mistake. Tommy Bowles looking real good in the early going of this race. I think that he's ready to make a stand and make a charge to the front.
And that's the 9th, 10th, and 11th place cars.
Mike Uniwisco making a strong move to the inside of Jamie Tomato off the 4th turn. As Tom Baldwin Jr. spoke, their car is working extremely well, and I think Uniwisco could be a threat in this race before the day's over with, as well as his car's working on the inside lane.
Mike Uniwisco won here in Martinsville last spring.
Oh, and contact. Uniwisco trying to get inside of Tomato, and they bumped going into the 3rd turn, and Jamie Tomato is spun around, trying to get his car out of the way from oncoming traffic.
And the current point leader, Jamie Tomato, has spun his Raven Boat-sponsored Pontiac up out of turn 4. We are under caution once again. He gets the car refired, puts it in reverse, now back in first gear and drives the car away. Let's take a look at what happened once again, Brett.
Uniwisco had got a good jump off the 2nd turn on Jamie, and as they went down into the corner, there just wasn't enough room for both of them to make it. Uniwisco touches the curb. It juts him out into Jamie's left rear tire, and Jamie spins, staying on the throttle there as you see the tire smoke. And Uniwisco just gets by on the outside.
Different angle now. We'll take a look. There is a big yellow concrete curve about 4 inches high on the inside. Uniwisco's trying to get his car to the inside. We'll look at that left front tire, possibly against that curb. Yes, he bumps the curb, shuffles him out, as you said, Brett, and tags Tomato and spins the car around. And here, so it's Mike Stefanik here trying to pick up the win, like he did a year ago in the Raven Boats 150. Currently chasing Jeff Fuller, and they do a little bumping and shoving, and we go back to green flag racing here once again.
As we see the cars come up out of the 2nd turn and go down the back straightaway, Jeff Fuller's already opened up a 3-car length advantage over Stefanik, and likely Stefanik the same over George Kent, as we see Tommy Bowles looking again to the inside of George Kent. I think Bowles has got a great race car underneath him. He just needs to get by Kent so he can go up there and challenge for the lead. What a move off that 2nd turn he made to get under Kent if he can just hold it going down into the 3rd turn. 29-year-old Tommy Bowles trying to move to the inside, and he saw what happened a little bit ago, so he's very, very careful of that concrete curbing, that bright yellow curbing. He does not quite have enough room and now falls back in line. You don't want to get on the line too long because Reggie Ruggiero sits right there waiting for him to make a mistake. The veteran Reggie Ruggiero knows that Tommy Bowles is getting impatient with George Kent, and I think Reggie's going to wait to see what Bowles does as far as make a move on Kent and then counter with a move of his own.
Tommy Bowles, his 3rd year on the tour. His first win, only win coming at Jennerstown Speedway back in July of '88. Drivers out of the race, Eddie DeHaan, Jan Leedy, Brian Ross, involved in that early accident in turn 3. Carl Pastriak, Rick Fuller, younger brother of our current leader, and Charlie Rudolph, along with a veteran Southern driver, Jay Hedgecock.
Oh, contact made. Bowles hit the back of George Kent's car down the front straightaway, punctured his right front tire. Everybody's scrambling to get by. It looks like they're going to make it by okay as he's just exploded the right front tire on that number 76.
And now he jams on the brakes so he doesn't spin the car up in traffic, and that car has come to rest just out of turn 2 at the beginning of the back straightaway. Caution now being waved again, and you see what's left of that right front car. There are bars to keep these cars from coming together. They call them Nerf bars and fenders, but here again, they're running so close, and there is Tom Bowles, a 29-year-old driver, who who's having a great run, probably the best run of his career here at Martinsville Speedway. And now he brings that car around to make sure he doesn't lose a lap. We'll look at a different angle. He did an outstanding job. There's a whole line of traffic behind him. He could have taken out a dozen or more race cars. There again, the contact, you see his car skip in the air a little bit. Now the tire begins to come apart. He's on the brakes trying to keep the car straight. Now it begins to turn a little more as that flattened tire is scrubbing that rubber down into the concrete part of the turn 1 and 2. A good move by Reggie Ruggiero and some of the drivers, Doug Hebron, etc., to get around it. While we're under yellow here in Martinsville, let's take a break for these messages. Back in Martinsville Speedway, the top 10 here. Jeff Fuller showing the way, Mike Stefanik, George Kent. Reggie Ruggiero moves in the 4th spot, and Billy Middleton, a good run from Middleton, one of the Southern drivers, in 5th. 6th through 10, Doug Hebron. 7th is Mikey Winitsko, coming all the way from the rear of the field. Keep an eye on Winitsko. Larry Moore, last year's Rookie of the Year. John Hoffman, a good run for him, and Gary Myers in the 10th spot. And just a moment ago, they held the car number 76 in the pits. That's a Tom Bowles car. They held him a lap. Brett, why was it for?
Well, Tommy had the flat tire there and stopped coming off the second turn. Of course, he needed a caution to keep from going a lap down, and so he stops on the racetrack to get NASCAR to throw a caution flag for him, and then goes ahead and starts his car back up and catches the rear of the field so he can make a pit stop and change the tire. NASCAR just penalizing for causing a caution when it wasn't necessary.
And he will be able to move back up on the outside for the restart and try to get that lap back as we're getting ready to go green. He has a fresh tire on the right side. He is currently 5th in the point standings, and the green flag waves, and he will fall in line behind the current leader, Jeff Fuller.
Tommy Bowles sitting in second place there, position on the racetrack is a lap down to the leader, and Mike Stefanik trying to get around him so he can go up and challenge Jeff Fuller for the lead.
Looks like Bowles' car not working at all, and he gets a serious test from Mike Stefanik now out of turn 4.
Yes, Bowles is really holding up Stefanik, and Mike's just telling him with that front bumper of his, hey man, you're holding me up. Let's give me some room so I can get by. And there's Jamie Tomeno trying to make a move on Billy Middleton. Jamie has caught Billy, chased him down, and now trying to work him over.
Billy Middleton being shown in the 7th spot. In the car number 46. Current point leader, Jamie Tomeno, out of Howell, New Jersey. I think New Hampshire was earlier. He was from New Jersey in that Raven Boat sponsored Pontiac. And back up front now, Mike Stefanik has finally been able to get around Tommy Bowles and see if he can reel in Jeff Fuller. There is Fuller, the lead car, car number 8, his Superior Process Chevrolet. And now we'll see Stefanik in the right of your screen. That's the car number 15. The H&H Racing Fuel Chevrolet for Mike Stefanik.
And Jamie Tomeno now is making a charge, and he's catching that battle for 3rd and 4th between Kent and Ruggiero. Jamie Tomeno having a great run. He made a late pit stop and charging from the back of the field.
And Tomeno seems to be one of the quicker cars on the racetrack. He is gone. He's dispensed with Winitsko and Hebron, and currently being shown in the 2nd spot. And now Tom Bowles on the inside, and Fuller has to ride high, and that will be the break for Stefanik in turns 3 and 4.
Tommy Bowles is slowed up and let Mike Stefanik catch our leader as they go into the first turn, keeping Jeff Fuller on the outside lane, and Stefanik is right there waiting for a mistake from Fuller to possibly get by for the win. Stefanik doing everything he can, getting a little sideways coming off the second turn, trying to chase down the leader, Jeff Fuller. With 3 laps to go now, Fuller pulls out to about a 5-car length advantage.
I asked Jeff Fuller where he learned to qualify so well earlier today. He said, well, with 6 brothers and 2 sisters, you learn to be awfully quick, particularly around mealtime.
I could imagine.
That's paid off pretty well. A great run for Jeff Fuller.
I think that Reggie Ruggiero has tried to pick a spot where he can get by George Kent, but Kent's car seems to get better as the laps wind down. The longer they run, the stronger Kent's car gets, and Ruggiero having trouble even hanging on to Kent now.
They don't want to make a move that possibly cost them a good finish here, and most importantly, those valuable NASCAR Winston points on the tour. George Kent currently 4th in the point standings. Ruggiero is 7th. White flag here for Jeff Fuller. He set on the pole. Qualifying effort for Jeff Fuller at almost 99 miles an hour. Comes out of turn 4, and Harold Kinder waves a checkered flag, and he is waving in the car. 33-year-old Jeff Fuller from Auburn, Massachusetts, takes the Superior Process Chevrolet to victory lane. A great run for Fuller, a dominating run today for Fuller.
Fuller just had the dominating car all weekend here at Martinsville, and was able to capitalize with a pole position and go on and lead every lap of the race. Jeff, a very deserving driver. He had a great run here in the spring race at Martinsville and just couldn't come up with a win today. He did.
We'll be back right after this. Back in Martinsville, as we take a look at the top 5, let's go down to victory lane with Benny Parsons and the winner of the Raven Boats 150.
Hey, this guy's not, you're not happy, are you, Jeff Fuller?
Oh, maybe just a little bit. You know, that was a great race. This car was handling so good, I'll tell you what. Car stayed right on the curb, right down at the bottom. I couldn't have asked for any better handling car than this one.
Well, why? I mean, you haven't had a victory all year. All of a sudden, the car is just absolutely perfect. Is it something about this racetrack, or have you learned something the last couple of weeks?
Well, Martinsville's always been good to me. We've run down here quite a bit. We've had quite a good finish, quite a bit of good finishes. Last time we were down here about a month ago, we finished second, coming from the back twice. I think them tars, is that what you call them, Benny? Tars? Them Goodyear tars?
Yeah, them tars.
When we got down here, I walked over to that tire truck and I said,
no, tar.
No, yeah, tar. How do you spell that? I walked over.
T-R.
T-R?
T-A-R.
Oh, T-A-R, tar. I says, I need some tars. You know, I says, I need some tires. They didn't know what I was talking about. I says, oh, I'm sorry. Some tars.
when you said they knew exactly what, but I walked by some cars on the way over to Victory Lane. I saw some blistered tires. You didn't have any problem at all today.
No, if you were a little bit off on the setup, as well as you know, I mean, you got to be right on the setup, and my tires look great. I just took a quick look at them, and they look real good. No blister spots, no nothing. Goodyear did a good job with them.
You know, your guys ran over to Victory Lane with a jack. Now, what's that all about? I mean, is the car too low, or what's the problem?
No, you know, you're playing dumb now. They measured the stagger. See, on a modified, not like those cars that you drove there, on a modified, the stagger is really critical. If you're off a quarter-inch one way or the other, the car will either push or it'll be loose. We had a setup here that was real good, and this team is so good that they want to find out exactly what was in the car, so when we come back here in the fall, they can repeat.
What, car? What is that?
No, it's a car.
Thank you very much.
C-O-R-E.
There you go. Jeff, great. Hey, you know, I talked about Jack Newsy, your car owner, and he told his wife that he either had to go in the racing business or get a girlfriend. She said, have fun at the racetrack. He had some fun today, didn't he?
Yeah, he's got her with her. He's got to behave.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
As expected, one well of a show here, as always, for the modified tour cars at Martinsville Speedway. Jeff Fuller sitting on the pole, leading every single lap in dominating fashion, takes the win, his first win of the 1990 season.